This week we are looking at timetables and telling the time. This is an example of a train timetable. It's a real train timetable of a train that runs between Blackpool North and London Euston. So that is north and south in England. The southbound departures are the ones starting in the north and running south, and the northbound departures are the ones starting in the south and running north. A train timetable and a bus timetable are really good at giving not only information about when the next train or bus is coming, but also how long a journey will take and what stops you'll be stopping at. You can see here that if I wanted to start in Preston and go to Nuneaton, that's just one stop. If I wanted to get on the 12:21 train, it's actually a very long journey because to get to Nuneaton takes 1 hour and 33 minutes. That's an important piece of information to know. We will be looking at different measurements of time, different units. And we've got hours, minutes, seconds and milliseconds. Now on both our clocks here, you can see hours, minutes and seconds. You can't see milliseconds. Milliseconds are slightly different from hours, minutes and seconds because they break seconds up into thousandths of a second. But seconds, minutes and hours are all broken down into 60. So there are 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. You can see that really well on an analog clock. That's the clock at the top with the hands that go round twice in a day. You can see that each one of those numbers is worth 5 minutes and there are 12 numbers. The top clock tells us that it is almost 6 o'clock, but an analog clock doesn't tell us whether that's in the morning, AM, or in the afternoon, evening, or night, PM. So this could tell us two different times. The bottom one has got a PM. The digital clock very clearly tells us that it's 11:53 PM. But if you look at those seconds to the side, there's also those 51 seconds. So it tells us that it's almost 6 minutes to midnight.
Hi Year 5. This maths lesson this week is all about reading timetables and telling the time and converting time. Okay, so we'll have a look at what time it is right now. If you look at my watch, can you read that? It's an analog watch there. You can see the second hand going round. It's got some Roman numerals on there as well, just to throw you off a little bit. Have a think about if you know how to read that. It is just after 9:15 in the morning. Okay, and I am at work, and obviously I'm going to be here a little bit longer, but if I wanted to go to Blackpool today, if I was allowed, let's have a look at my train timetable. I found one on here, you can see. If I wanted to go to Blackpool today, I'd have to get on the train at London Euston. That is my closest train station to here. So what is the first time I could actually get on a train today? Now think about it. I am at work, so it must be Monday to Friday. Let's see if you can find London Euston. And see if you can work out what time I could get on a train and what time I would get to Blackpool North if I got on that train. Now, as a little bit of a challenge, I am not allowed to stay over in Blackpool North because you're not allowed to go and stay with people that are not part of your bubble. So I'd have to come back today. So what time train could I get back from Blackpool North to get me home? A little last challenge, if you've worked all those things out, how long is the journey? So let's work through how to work this out. My first train, it's now 9:30, so I can still get the same train. My first train would be this one here. We're looking from London to Blackpool, and Monday to Friday. So my first train is at 11:33. And if I look down here, it stops at all of these stations here. It finally gets to Blackpool North at 2:40. It says 14:40. So that's a 24-hour clock, which is the same as 2:40. 14:40 is the same as 2:40 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, so I get on in the morning and I get off in the afternoon. Now my train's home. I can see if I stick to Monday to Friday because I need to come back today. My last train home from Blackpool North to London Euston would be at 5:13 and get me home at 2:38. Now here you can see that there's actually Milton Keynes Central. My train doesn't stop there on the way home, but it does stop there on the way out. So let's look at how long that journey takes. We've got 11:33 to 2:40. Now I know it's tempting to stick them on top of each other and do a takeaway, because that's what we're used to doing. But we're going to work it differently. We're going to do this in our heads mentally and we're going to count up. Okay, so how many minutes are there in an hour? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And how many seconds in a minute? 60 seconds in 1 minute. All right, that's very important because we want to avoid counting up to 100. We're only counting up to 60. So to get from 11 a.m., 11 in the morning, to 12, that's our next whole number, our next whole hour, we're going to count up from 33. So 33. We're getting all the way to 60. So we need to count up from 3. We've got 7 to get us to a whole one. And then we're on 40. And from 40 to 60 is 20. So we've got 27 minutes there. That'll take us up to 12. Now, from 12 all the way to, we've got 14 here, 12 to 14. That's quite a quick one. That's 2 whole hours plus 2 hours. These are minutes. 2 whole hours, and then that takes us to 14. And then we're going to count up another 40 minutes to take us to 2:40 plus 40 minutes. So we've got 27 minutes plus 2 hours plus 40 minutes. See if you can do that mentally and tell me how long you think the journey takes. So did you get 2 hours and 67 minutes? Let's go back to this. We've got 60 minutes in 1 hour. So we need to convert this because at the moment it's 2 hours and 67 minutes, and 67 minutes is bigger than 1 hour. So what do you think if we convert this? How many whole hours and minutes do we have? That's right, 1 whole hour fits in there. So actually the answer in the end is 3 hours and 7 minutes. 3 hours and 7 minutes. Now here's a little challenge. We're going to go back. And our way home we had a stop missing. So I want us to think about, is it the same amount of time? Is the journey back the same amount of time? We're getting on at 5:13 or 17:13, 5:13 or 17:13. And we're going all the way and our journey finishes at 20:38. Let's do that process of counting up again and see if you can work out how long the journey is on the way back and if it is the same amount of time. So on the way out from London to Blackpool, it only takes me 3 hours and 7 minutes. But on the way home, 3 hours and 25 minutes. How much longer is the journey on the way home? How many more minutes? 15, 16, 17, 18 minutes longer on the way home. Your task, Year 5, is to find a timetable or schedule for trains or buses. They can go anywhere you like and from anywhere you like. Here are some choices that I have found. And to write questions for your fellow students. And you can post them to Seesaw, or if you email them to me, then I will post them and share them for you. Enjoy!